I'm Ashton Addison for Investment Pitch Media, and today we have with us Bill Zhang, CEO of Miningsky Technologies, and Kenneth Polonsky, the Visual Effects Pipeline Supervisor for Embassy Visual Effects. Gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time and glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Bill, could you please start by giving us a refresh on the background of Miningsky and your team's operations?
Sure. Skychain Technologies currently, we are doing the business of our hosting service, basically the foundation of the infrastructure. We have abundant supply of GPU power, which means GPU cards, and we can use them for the future cryptocurrency mining and also for rendering service. Currently, Skychain could position myself, our business, into computing power as a provider and deliver on-demand service, not only for cryptocurrency mining, and also for the VFX studios like Embassy today. We have invited Kenny come over here. Thank you.
Thanks. Kenneth, could you please provide a little bit of background on Embassy Visual Effects and how it pertains to the rendering and cloud-based services from Miningsky?
Yeah, sure. The Embassy is a visual effects company who has worked on motion pictures and film, long-form TV formats, and commercials. Currently, we've been working on Netflix shows such as Warrior Nun and Lost in Space, and other various commercials for television. GPU is becoming very prevalent in our field. As far as visual effects goes, the turnaround time for rendering of the final images is becoming less and less. We've seen some very good gains of up to 6 to 12 times what a CPU could do. It's great to be able to start to work with this technology. It really speeds up our process.
Great, thank you. And Bill, could you please provide a little bit more information into the rendering services and cloud services that Miningsky is providing?
Yep. Currently, our business, we are trying to use a GPU card, which we are using for blockchain business for Ethereum or this kind of cryptocurrency mining. However, as you know, the graphic card unit, GPU, have been designed from early beginning is for game players, for graphic card, for monitors, wonderful resolution. However, nowadays, the GPU cards are much more efficient and faster than comparing with traditional rendering by server CPU. And that kind of target is what we're looking for in the last 2 years. We spend the time and capital on developing a rendering node, which is being used by Embassy and testing for a while. So far, it's running very well. We are trying to build up a link between traditionally rendering service, which is the movie industry, and the blockchain business. We want to move them together so we can service our daily life.
Great. And Kenneth, can you provide a little bit more background? You mentioned that there's increased efficiency with GPUs in terms of rendering, and that seems like the most taxing process in producing the film. Can you talk about the current downfalls and pitfalls of the rendering part of the visual effects?
Sure, yeah. When working strictly with GPUs, render times, you can see very high amounts per frame, usually in the range of 1 hour to we've worked on shows that have had 24 hours per frame. Currently on the GPU, we're getting much better performance. Of course, that kind of goes hand in hand with how much memory you have available on the GPU. So we have hit instances where there is more data that needs to be processed than what is available on the GPU. There obviously are varying levels of memory on different GPUs, but it saved us a lot of time, and iterations are very important in our industry. So having the ability to iterate a full commercial every single day using these GPUs has been very good for the products that we're putting out and the amount of turnaround time that we can increase the quality level.
Thanks. And Bill, both Miningsky and Embassy Visual Effects are located throughout British Columbia. Does the proximity of the businesses make a difference in terms of the rendering and the output services and the cloud services that you're able to provide?
Both of our company, our head office in Vancouver, BC, Canada. And Embassy is in West Vancouver. I believe they have a lot of business on movie industry. I watched their website, the beautiful movie, and I hopefully, we can provide a service for them. And we were trying to do that kind of, come into that kind of business, service the traditional movie industry as soon as we can. 2 years ago, we realized we have so many GPU resource. One day, maybe they are not efficient for cryptocurrency, where we can use it. That is basically how we come into this project. And we take a look around this kind of industry in now in the movie industry and also the local economy in Vancouver, BC, and also California. We realized a very big market needs is for rendering movie industry. As you can see, Skychain Technologies do the foundation service, which means we do internet, power, which is electricity, and fiber, which is a very good internet. This kind of service can very, very, profitable if we can move the service from Skychain, the currently the cryptocurrency mining, into the movie industry service. At this point, technically we need to POC prove the concept. I believe we take about 1 year time for us to do it. And finally, we have the node and physically hand over to embassy, let them to take a look and try. So far, I believe they're running very well, and we're proud of it. And we are trying to next step is, deployment a large size to move service industry.
Thanks, Bill. And Kenneth, you talked about how Embassy Visual Effects is working on long films, commercials, Netflix shows. Can you talk a little bit about the demand presently and moving forward in the future for Embassy Visual Effects and just for the industry altogether in terms of cloud-based services and having rendering through these GPUs?
Sure. I mean, there's a very large demand currently. Lots of companies are looking to make more and more content. And with that demand, there needs to be more and more studios that are able to work for such big companies as Netflix and so a lot of those TV series around the 10 episode line usually contain around 600 shots or so that need to be completed. So the amount of processing to complete these is quite high.
And Bill, what are the next steps in terms of delivering these cloud-based services to Embassy and to the visual effects industry as a whole?
Our next step basically is we finish the POC. Next step, we will have to finish the deployment, build up this kind of service center in Vancouver area. To do this kind of service for local business, we have to have very fast, internet speed, latency. Latency will have to be like, reasonable. So between the servers and the service clients like Embassy have to be able to transfer the data immediately. We are talking about almost, there's no latency. To do this kind of service, we have agreement with the local business, use dark fiber to do the service and connect all those users together, build up a local service network. So next step for us to finish this project, pretty much we will begin to the construction, deployment, and start the service. I believe Embassy and Skychain will work together to service all those kind of clients, give them a wonderful service at a much better price.
Great. Thank you, Bill. And for the viewers that are looking to learn more on Miningsky and follow along with these updates and improvements into the visual effects industry, what's the best way for them to learn more?
Well, at this point is actually those movie industry and cryptocurrency industry in this GPU cards, there's no big gap in between. We will not be able to skip. Actually, it's not so difficult to build up them together. In nowadays blockchain business, many people think maybe the high technology is far away from our daily life. It's not true. And we can build up the link between the blockchain business and technology into the traditional business. For example, Embassy, VFX, movie industry. But that means we will do the service for movie industry only. We do the foundation. Nowadays, we have so many data, so many process, so many demand happening. As a foundation service provider, we want to be able to come into those business and build up the foundation, solid condition for those business, including the Embassy, movie industry, for the future like AI, artificial intelligence, and also the other industry like big data. All those kind of stuff, they need a foundation, they need infrastructure, which is we are working on it.
Great. Thank you so much for the time, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.